On these problems, we are going to sketch the graph. If you are given the x-intercept and the y-intercept, then it's really easy. You just go to the x-intercept, which is -2, on the x-axis. So you get a -2 on the x-axis, and the y-intercept is 4, so you go to +4 on the y-axis, and then you just connect your lines, or connect your dots with a line. And that's all there is to it. You just have to be careful to pay attention to your signs and not get your x and y, or your x and y axis mixed up. Make sure you put the x-intercept on the x-axis. It sounds really obvious, but it's easy to get mixed up. Okay, so understanding that will allow you to use this strategy. If you have an equation that is written in standard form, so ax plus bx equals c, then you don't have to rearrange it and get it into y equals mx plus b form. You don't have to get the y alone in order to graph it. We're going to find intercepts. So the way that you find intercepts is you plug 0 in for x and solve for y. That will give you the y-intercept. Plug 0 in for y, solve for x. That gives you the x-intercept. So if I plug 0 in for x here, 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5y is 5y. So my equation becomes 5y equals -5. So y needs to be -1 because 2 times 0 plus 5 times -1 will equal -5. So if my y-intercept, oh sorry, I guess you can see all that. My y-intercept is -1, it's going to go through -1 on the y-axis. If I plug 0 in for y, then 5 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2x is 2x. So I have 2x equals -5. So x is -5/2, which is -2.5. You have to change it to a mixed number or a decimal to be able to know where it is on your graph. Or at least in your head you have to. You could still write down 5/2, but you need to know that 5/2 is 2.5 in order to put it on your graph. So x is -2.5. And then you would just connect that. So again, 2 times -5/2 plus 5 times 0 is equal to -5. So that's why the x-intercept is -5/2. Now most of the time when you graph a line, you're going to do it this way. This equation is in slope-intercept form. It's solved for y. So it's in y equals mx plus b form, which means the number by itself is the y-intercept. So you go to +1 on the y-axis and you put a dot there. The number beside your x is the slope. You want it to be a fraction. So if it's a whole number like that, or in this case an integer, you put it over 1. So from this point, I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1, because it's negative, so it has to go downhill. Another way you could look at it is that the run is 1 and the rise is -3. So it goes down 3 and to the right 1. So connect your dots and you've got your line. Okay. This one has a y-intercept of -2, so you go to -2. The slope is 1/4. So from that dot, you go up 1 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And be sure you always go to your right. If the top number is positive, you go up and to the right. If the top number is negative, you go down and to the right. If you need to go to the left because your point won't fit on your graph for some reason, like let's say you're down here, you don't have room to go down, then you go up, but you go to the left. Or you would go backwards. If this is up and to the right 4, then to go backwards, I would go down, but I'd have to go to my left 4. So just think of it that way. Okay, so that is how you graph those lines.